trail that goes up to Amahoma Lake at 3,000 meters above sea level, and this takes us 3 days. And then we have got the Diamond Trail that takes us through the river. Manchester Bridge was taken by the flood, but management is planning to put another bridge very soon.
Hello guys, good morning. I'm now in Rwenzori Mount National Park, one of the tallest and the biggest mountains in Africa. Here, this mountain is the third in Africa after Kilimanjaro and Mount Kenya in Kenya, of course. Now I'm in Uganda, you see. So this Rwenzori is a catchment of water, as you can see. So a lot of water come from Mount Rwenzori. Let's have a look. Careful, be careful. Going to be here for the next very few minutes, and at this juncture I want to introduce to you Corporal Muhindo Joseph, who is our head guide for Rwenzori Mountains National Park, to tell you very briefly about what goes on in Rwenzori Mountains National Park, and particularly in this place. Like I told you yesterday, the major tourism attraction and the major tourism activity in this place is mountaineering, majorly to the peaks, the major peaks of Rwenzori Mountains National Park. But we also do quite a number of other activities, tourism activities in the national park. There are very many attractions inside the park, and Joseph is going to take us through these attractions and these tourism activities that we do in this place. So I want us to spend the next maybe about 20 minutes in this place, and then we head to another area of the national park. Joseph, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Members, you are most welcome once again to Rwenzori Mountains National Park, and my name is Joseph. I'm glad to meet with you this great morning. You are at 1,600 meters above sea level, and the Mihunga Gate is where we are, one of the leading points that heads to the highest point of Uganda, and we are proud that we are protecting this mountain together with the communities, looking at a number of interventions. One is that Rwenzori Mountains National Park was before a forest reserve that was declared in 1941. That was the time of colonialism, where they thought that every forest existing at an altitude of 2,200 meters be gazetted the forest reserve. Rwenzori took the advantage. In 1991, government of Uganda recognized the Rwenzori to be gazetted as a national park, and it covered and gazetted 995 square kilometers. We border within the districts of Kasese, Ndoroko, Kabarole, Bunyangabo and Bundubujo districts. We also border with Virunga National Park in the DRC Congo. We are also a World Heritage Site by UNESCO that was gazetted in 1994, and this was looking at 3 outstanding conservation values that included Rwenzori being a cultural heritage. Number 2 was Rwenzori being a water catchment area, and then number 3 was Rwenzori being a home of rare, endemic and endangered species. We are also grateful that UNESCO did not stop there. It came back in 2008 and declared Rwenzori as a Ramsar site. When we talk of Ramsar sites, we are referring to wetlands of global importance. And how do we contribute to the global in terms of water supply? We are looking at the melting glaciers that leaks water in small quantities, and we also look at the swamps and the bogs of the Rwenzoris that leak water in small quantities, and looking at the formation where some valleys were created, water will always flow through the lowest levels of altitude, and then the valleys will collect water together, and these small streams where they join is what we call river confluences. And of course we also lie under in the western arm of the Rift Valley and together with the Queen Elizabeth. So you find that our waters will drain into the Queen Elizabeth National Park, that is through Lake George and Lake Edward. Remember where they join together is the Kazinga Channel. And not forgetting that the George is not only for Uganda but shared with also Congo, and the Congo side takes the bigger part, where River Semuliki originates and meanders through the northern parts of the Rwenzoris, draining into the Lake Albert, forming the Albert Nile that later goes through the Egypt and ends in the Mediterranean Sea. Our natural beauty of nature basically is looking at the formation of the Rwenzori itself as a national park, and we don't forget that glaciation on the Rwenzoris was much more active in about 30 million years ago, and of course our formation involved the upwarping and downwarping due to tensional and compressional forces, making Rwenzori a block mountain and making it the highest mountain range on the rest of the Africa's continent, much as we are the 3rd highest mountain in Africa, following Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Kenya. Reason being, whereas Kilimanjaro and Kenya are the highest, they happen to be volcanic mountains, whereas we are a block mountain, and that makes us a unique mountain. We are also the only glacial source of the Nile, much as we also claim about 65% of our waters entering into the Nile, much as we say the main source of the Nile happens to be the Lake Victoria. Rwenzori is the only glacial source of the Nile. Our natural beauty of nature lies basically in 5 vegetation zones, where we start with the grassland zone that ranges from the equator line up to about 1,800 meters above sea level, and this goes up to the most edges of our national park, and then it dominates of course different species. But what we host more is the montane forest zone that we are looking at, and the entire forest are very close, dominating of the tropical forest responsible for the formation of tropical rainfall, making the Rwenzori rains unpredictable. And of course it is a habitat of several other species on the side of animals, birds and reptiles. Our third zone is the bamboo zone that ranges from 2,800 meters above sea level, goes up around 3,200 meters, dominating of the Memelopsis species. The other zone is the heather zone, dominating of the giant heathers, which some people call Rucasia trees. In some other countries like Europe, they are quite very short, but in Rwenzori it makes a huge forest. And then the last part happens to be the Afro-Alpine moorland zone, dominating of the ground shells, the marsh species, the lobelia species, making Rwenzori the Africa's botanical garden. And this makes us proud to call Rwenzori the pearl of Uganda, whereas Uganda happens to be the pearl of Africa. Ladies, gentlemen, I'm sorry there are no ladies. Members, we are also looking at some of the activities that capture our clients. Basically, we are looking at the birding activities. We have over 217 bird species recorded for the Rwenzoris, where 17 of them are endemic. And if you would go somewhere else, you'll find that Rwenzori has got more of the endemics in terms of the park, much as Queen Elizabeth has got over 600. But if you look at the endemics of the Rwenzoris itself and the Albert and Rift Valley, Rwenzori takes more of these endemics. And we have also some other species that goes up to the high altitude, up around 4,500 meters above sea level. You can still find some bird species like the scarlet and tufted malachite sunbirds. We are also looking at the mammalian life. In the Rwenzoris, we have over 21 mammals, small species, where most of these are endangered, including the forest elephants and the chimpanzees, and then others are also endemic, including the Rwenzori duikers, the snow leopards, among others. And these are being conserved in the Rwenzoris, of course, looking at the UWA means of conserving for generations. The park has been protected together with the communities to ensure that what is in the park remains intact, to have them utilized for future generations. We have nature walks as some of the activities. We have arranged trips of 1 day, 3 days, 2 days, depending on the interest of the clients, and our clients start from here. And other trails, including Klembe, Bukurungu, Akazingu, then the Wamba Pass, the Sebwe Falls, among others. 1 day can be arranged and people will go for a walk. They go inside the park for a number of hours, they come back. We also offer camping activities on some of our trails, where people will go with tents, they go in camps, we have gazetted camping areas. People will get there, they move the next morning, of course, with the aid of the community guides and the park ranger guides. So these trips are arranged, and they give quality services to our dear clients. We also have research activities for those people who come and wanting to know more about the Rwenzoris, and we appreciate that for those that have come, they give us information that management bases on in making decisions to continuously manage our protected area. We have also got the trekking and peak climbing activities, where our clients are interested in getting to the high points of the Rwenzoris, and of course a peak is referred to as the highest point on top of a mountain. Other attractions that we may be having on the Rwenzoris is basically the diverse culture, like we mentioned, the Rwenzori being a cultural heritage. Some people want to know about the culture of the Rwenzoris, and inside the park we have got some those cultural sites that have been gazetted even before the park was gazetted. And the fact that the park works together with the communities, they continuously respect the culture of the people on the Rwenzoris. Next is that we also have the formation of the park itself gives the attractions like the valleys themselves, the raised mountains, the peaks, like we have heard of Margarita Peak, which sits at 5,109 meters above sea level, being Margarita Peak on Mount Stanley, whereas Mount Stanley is one of the 6 independent mountain ranges that forms the Rwenzoris, and this is together with Mount Speke, Mount Becker, Mount Gessi, Mount Emin, and Louis du Savoy. And these, in number, made Rwenzori's name change from Mount Rwenzori National Park, Rwenzori Mountains National Park, because it comprises of a number of mountain ranges, and these are independent, making the biggest difference from Mount Kilimanjaro and Kenya, much as they are the highest, and for that reason we said Rwenzori happens to be the highest mountain range on the rest of the Africa's continent. Members, if you have any question at this particular moment, you can forward it. Otherwise, I appreciate your presence and thank you for visiting Rwenzori. We are humbled to be with you and look forward to continue receiving you every time and again. Joseph is me. I'm happy for you.
Joseph, the other name?
Muhindo Joseph.
Yeah, it's all we had to offer you now for the Mount Rwenzori. Hope you enjoyed the shots, hope you enjoyed the glimpse of Rwenzori Mount Rwenzori National Park.